Welcome back, and thanks for joining us here at Silicon Beats. We're going to take an in-depth look into Ableton's Impulse. Now, if you're not familiar with Impulse, it's basically a drum sampler with some modulation and sound shaping capabilities. So firstly, you have 8 samples you can hold up to at one time, and you could simply drag and drop any sample you'd like from your browser into these slots, or you could pull up a predetermined kit as I have from Ableton's library. And then lastly, you can hot swap any of these samples in case you want something different. So if I click on this button here for my snare, I'm redirected to my samples library, and now I can browse through them till I find one I like. We'll choose this one. Then I just click back on my swap button, and it's automatically imported that sample for me. So I can trigger it here. Now it sounds a bit different because there are some changes made to the sound with these parameters, but that is my sample. And I can solo it by clicking this button, and I can mute it by clicking this button. Now in the lower left hand corner you have 3 features: start, transpose, and stretch. And basically start just determines where Impulse begins playing a sample. So this is useful if you only want to catch the tail end of a sample. So transpose is basically just pitch adjustments if you want to tune your samples or create some effects. And then your stretch parameter allows you to lengthen or shorten your sample. Now if you're looking for a granular sort of effect, you can go up on your stretch. And then if you want to shorten your sample, or if you're looking for more of a glitch type effect, now both transposing and stretch can be modulated by velocity. With these parameters here, they're expressed in percentages, and basically that just means that the velocity at which you strike the note will have an effect on modulating this parameter. So if I go up on my velocity for my transpose and then I strike this sample, you'll notice it'll defer in pitch based on how hard I strike it. And again, we could do that same thing with our stretch. Now there is a random control, and this will just randomly modulate that parameter. So if I go all the way up, it doesn't matter how hard I strike the notes, it's going to modulate my pitch. And then for stretch, there are 2 different algorithms you can choose from. Mode A is better for stretching or shortening lower sounds like kicks or toms, and then mode B is more accurate for stretching higher pitched sounds like hi-hats, cymbals, etc. Now you also have a saturation feature where you can add drive to your sample, so I have it maxed out. Then you have a filter, and this is good for removing any unwanted frequencies or creating sonic space. Typical parameters, your frequency and your resonance. And basically for your frequency, that just determines where the filter is applied to. And then your resonance will boost frequencies within that area. You have velocity and random bass modulation for your resonance. And then your mode allows you to choose from different filter types. So we have low pass 1 and 2, band pass 1 and 2, and high pass 1 and 2, as well as notch. Next we have decay, panning, and volume. And decay is basically your envelope, and it ranges from milliseconds to seconds. I'll go ahead and take off these randoms. And you can hear as I trigger my sample, the decay is varied. So if you wanted a glitch type of effect, you could shorten up your sample decays. See, we start to get some clicks and pops. And then if you wanted to do some major stretching, you could lengthen your decay and lengthen your stretch time. So that could be a cool effect in the right situation. Now you have two modes for decay. One is trigger and the other is gate. Trigger mode allows the sample to decay with the note, whereas gate mode forces the envelope to wait for a note off message before beginning the decay. So gate mode is useful when you need variable decay lengths, as is the case with hi-hat, cymbals, etc. For most other things, trigger works well. And we have pan and volume. Obviously you can use pan to control stereo positioning and volume to control amplitude. The pan feature can be modulated by velocity or a random value, and then the volume can be modulated by velocity only. So you definitely want to get some velocity modulation out of your volume to get more of a natural feel from your drums. And then you have mute and solo. So these would be your individual controls, and you have access to them for each sample. So you can tailor them however you would like them. Lastly, we have global controls. So the overall volume, then time is basically stretching for all of these samples. So I'll trigger my loop. And then we have transpose as well. So you have a lot of flexible controls that really allow you to manipulate drum samples, or any sample for that matter, just quickly and efficiently on the fly. So this has been an inside look at Impulse. As always, we hope you found this tutorial helpful, and be sure to visit us at siliconbeats.com.